Here is this was a systematic review again of experiments that were and studies that were done on testing highly gifted children in control groups. And so this was sort of a review of their finding. And oh, excuse me, let me get the bookmark out of the way. So here we see in this highlighted portion, they mentioned that while traditional views linked giftedness closely with high IQ scores, contemporary theories understand that it's a multifaceted phenomenon, right? Influenced by both cognitive and non-cognitive factors. So there's Renzulli's three-ring conception of intelligence, which suggests that giftedness arises from the interaction of above average ability, creativity, and task commitment. So it's a combination of those three things. Then there's Gagne's differentiated model of giftedness and talent in 2004, which distinguishes between innate natural abilities or gifts and systematically developed skills, right? That's another argument, talents, right? Emphasizing the influence of environmental then and personal factors in transforming gifts into talents, right? And I think this is a lot where parents want to, that's what if they see it, well, I want to nurture that. I want to, maybe turn this gift or this talent, into something more.
Mm.
And then there's Sternberg's triarchic theory, which proposes that giftedness involves a balance of analytical, creative, and practical intelligence, which indicates that traditional intelligence tests may not fully capture an individual's capabilities. Right? So as we were discussing and talking about earlier, so then it makes you again wonder. Indeed, are we just looking at when we look at just IQ? Are we missing a whole lot in terms of intelligence?
I 100% think we are, and so now I lean into my background of working with kids on the spectrum and how I think that my mind works pretty fast. And then all of a sudden, I have to think 10 times faster than I ever thought I had to because just because, right? These kids that I have worked with, some of these kids, I can't name every flag out there, but some of my kids can, right? So looking at the gift and the talent, and that's something that they wanted to do. They were intrigued. They loved the colors and the shapes and the patterns, and they loved the names of the words of the countries, and their brain just clicked that together, right? And they just looked at the form one time and said, I know the whole thing, because their brain works that way. But the student also is going to yell in the middle of class if it's too loud, right? The student also is going to throw things because you wore the wrong color shirt. It's these things that hold back maybe what we would think is a gifted person because they're not communicating in a neurotypical way. And then they're not going to be placed in a gifted class to write a more powerful essay because their specialty is flags, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and that IQ test, they might have flying colors on the IQ test, but still not be able to sit down and hold a conversation about how you're doing today.
Right.
So their brain is working in ways that our brain is not, and who's to say that that's not a gifted brain? Who's to say that those talents don't deserve some nurturing and right? And yeah, yeah.